Tokyo Shinobi Squad is still amazing. A month has passed now since the start of Tokyo Shinobi Squad, and also since I made that first video actually solely dedicated to this brand new manga, and I can 100% solely say that I am still in love with this series. And the catalyst for that love that I have towards this new manga can easily be narrowed down to two things: the characters and the combat. The two C's of Tokyo Shinobi Squad. The characters feel very fresh, they're very enjoyable, the personalities are all very fun to watch and to grow with. I really like. At first I wasn't too sure what I thought of N, who I'm still unsure is actually who the actual main protagonist is. I'm not sure if they're pulling a fairy tale, where obviously fairy tale, I think from an outsider's perspective, Natsu's the obvious choice for the main character because he's the one that gets all the big fights, all the big moments, all of these, all the power-ups, all of that type of stuff. But actually, it's Lucy who's the main character, and I'm wondering whether or not that's the type of thing that they're going to be doing with this, because Jin is the one who does the fighting, he's the one who's, you know, introducing us to everything, he's the one who was on the front cover for the very first chapter, but N feels more like the underdog new boy main protagonist type stuff, even though Jin's doing everything, so I'm a bit unsure who the main character actually is. But I think everyone, absolutely everyone, fell in love with Jin weeks before the manga even came out, just because of how incredible his character design was. But N, like I said, after the first chapter I was a bit unsure, I didn't know whether or not I liked him. Then chapter 2 rolled around and I started to warm to him. Chapter 3 and now chapter 4 especially in this chapter, I thought N was beautiful in this chapter, I loved it. But I'm fully down, fully with his character. I don't think there's a character I've met so far that I dislike. I like Tiger, he's been introduced recently, I thought Tiger was great. I liked how Sweets sort of hit his sweet spot, so to say, excuse the pun, and kind of somewhat calming down. But I'm liking the realism with him towards N, where Jin kind of accepted N instantly because that's just the type of guy he is, whereas Tiger's a much more conservative person. He doesn't want to accept N as a member of the squad right now because, well, he doesn't, because N's a new boy, he's not proved himself. But I'm pretty sure that's going to kind of be the point of this first arc, you know, N completely cementing himself as a part of the Shinobi Squad, which I need to learn the name of their squad because as of right now I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I'm sure the first arc is going to be revolving around N sinking in and making his stance on the squad while also building up the bigger threats at hand. And then talking of bigger threats at hand, the combat so far has been nothing short than just fantastic. I thought the combat has been extremely fun. I can't wait to see this in the anime. I think the whole Nimpo scroll stuff, it's got the potential to be a very, very good and intriguing power system. So far, all the abilities I've seen have been fantastic. Obviously, in that first chapter, we were treated to an abundance of different abilities, from sound echolocation type abilities to boxing Nimpo abilities to obviously Jin's magnetism and electromagnetism abilities. You know, it's been revealed that N has a very, very super rare, like top 5 Nimpo scroll that he's learnt that has the potential to even lead to, like, I think it was like reading minds and brainwashing. That is an extremely interesting and, dare I say it, unique ability for a main character. Like I said, I'm not sure if he's the main character, for someone like that to have. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, I know that there's probably some characters out there, main characters, whose ability is brainwashing and mind reading and all that type of stuff and exquisite memory, but we can all stand back and say that there's not many. So straight away, I like that part of the Nimpo squads. And then obviously Tiger's ability just looks so damn good. When this gets an anime, I'm saying when it gets an anime, it's going to be anytime soon. It's going to be years at the least, but it's going to look fantastic. But like I said, as you can already tell, after just 4 chapters, I'm fully sucked into the world of Tokyo Shinobi Squad and the power system that it's got, the characters. I already feel a very strong bond between myself and the characters in the series. And for a series to do that in such a short amount of time, if you have it in comparison, and I know I'm not trying to compare the two series, it's just they're two big new series that have come out recently. Samurai 8, that's what, 8-9 chapters in right now. I am enjoying Samurai 8 a lot. However, I haven't got the same bond to the characters in that I have in Tokyo Shinobi Squad, despite Tokyo Shinobi Squad being around for half the time. In just 4 chapters, Jin and En's relationship has grown on me that much that if anything happens to them negatively, then it will generally take its toll on me. I will be extremely sad, whereas there's not many other series out there. Like I said, I hate to compare, it's just the first that comes to my head as a new series, but Samurai 8, I don't have that type of feeling. Maybe we've had Shimaru and his father, but I think that's just because it's a, it's a parental bond. It's something that every human in the world shares that. But with Jin and En, it's something different, and it's something fantastic. I quite enjoyed the idea of this week's villain of the week, because that's kind of what it's felt so far after the 4 chapters. I'm pretty sure every single chapter, give or take, has had a new bad guy in it. But this one, what's different with this chapter is it's followed through now into the following chapter, and I like the idea behind it with the whole kind of taking stem cell research to the extreme, something that is prominent and very important, and a huge scientific impact on the actual real world with stem cell research. As you can tell, I'm not a huge biology fan. However, I like the idea of it. However, when with them taking it to the extreme and using it to actually further the body to points beyond humankind, or what should be out this world, to the point where they can regrow limbs and all this type of stuff. It's a very interesting concept, and it's one of those ones where it's kind of like, well, that does sound good. Why would you not want it to happen? But so it's one of those where you sit on the fence about it. At least that's just me, Being able to grow back dismembered limbs sounds good, but it's the bad guys that are doing it, and you kind of have to think to yourself, well, I don't know, it sounds good, but the way they're going about it's wrong. And I like villains like that, where it makes you think, well, what they're doing, they've got a point, but they're just going about it the wrong way. But yeah, like I was saying, I just hope that after all this, with the whole stem cell research, this laboratory they're in, the research of the scientist, I just hope after all this, it then has some connection to the overall story following on from here, and not just another villain after this in a couple chapters time that has no correlation to the current events going on in the manga. Because off the top of my head, I can't think of anything more that annoys me more than my least favourite thing, which is just in a story, is just that there has to be dots drawn together at some point somewhere. You have to join the dots. You can't just have this constant line of just new villain, this. At some point, those dots have to start joining together. This has to link in with something later on in the story. You need references, you need foreshadowing, you need a story. And that's one of my biggest concerns right now. I say concern, it's not much of a concern, it's just something which I hope they jump into sooner rather than later. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad. As always, leave your thoughts and opinions on this chapter in the comment section down below. I'd really like to know whether or not you're still reading Tokyo Shinobi Squad. I definitely am. I've been loving it so far, and I can't wait to read more. But guys, I'll be seeing you guys in another video. But until then, peace.